This video, you're going to like it because this is an excellent example of someone that's passed the ISSA. Hey, there's no holiday here at Bonika Shears. Well, maybe every day's a holiday. But along with the Christmas cards and Christmas cookies that came in yesterday, got two things. Some ISSA membership cards and another ISSA certification. Now, he's already got his card because just signing up makes you a member, so you get a card, whether you pass or not. If he passes the certification, we send him a certificate saying he's certified. So you get like two things and these videos to watch. So let's see if this gentleman who is in Arizona, if he passes this certification. Let's see what his shears look like. Before I start, I think I need to eat a cookie, get some Christmas substances. If I'm going to be here on my day off, Christmas holidays, I got to eat a Christmas cookie. I only live a couple of miles from the office, and so I get really bored when I stay home. Let's see if I can get this thing open. So the ISSA is their International Scissor Sharpeners Association, which we do a basic certification. Not anything strenuous. Can you convex a convex shear? Can you bevel a bevel shear? And I have a little written test of just basic sharpening knowledge. Ooh, money in here. I think that's for shipping them back, because you have to pay for the shipping. He wrote me a long letter. Okay, I'm going to read this afterwards because we're going to see what's going on, and then this may explain any issues. Let me see if he passed the written test. And if you search around on the ISSA, you'll see I actually tell you the answers to the test, so there should be no excuse. Yes, everything's correct on his written test. $10. So let's see what we've got here. My first thing I do is I cut the cheap toilet tissue. And then we test it on hair, and then we kind of look at it. Thumb out. Cuts fine, dry. Thumb out. Cuts dry. Test 1. Test 2. Cuts wet beautifully. Test 2. Cuts wet beautifully. Unless I see something really weird with these, they have passed. What we're going to look at now is I'm going to cut hair, see if they push. Do you think I need to bless myself with a new mannequin for 2022? She's still got a little hair here. Let's see how these cut hair. This is the beveled edge. Not a bit of push. Beautiful. Convex edge. Oh man. This is some of the best sharpening I've seen with ISSA. Really, really good. Let's see what they look like. If you want to see what the difference between a bevel and a convex, this is a good example. You need me to go get that? I got to answer the other phone today. Mystie is on hold. Probably be on hold at least an hour. If you own a business and you have a business account, we had a really bad scam came through on her cell phone. Said it was the fraud department of Wells Fargo, which we use Wells Fargo, and the text looked legitimate, said you had a fraud alert, at Walmart. And was this your purchase or not? What came to me, it came to her. I ignored it. I didn't notice it. And she said, no, it wasn't. So that somehow got them into her phone. So what I'm told from Wells Fargo and probably any bank, if they send you a text, if you get a text from them, you should never have any kind of text that has you respond in any way, even yes or no, or don't send me text anymore. There'll always be a text that comes through that you don't have to do anything, maybe call them or what have you. So this text came through. She said no, it wasn't their purchase, and her phone rang right afterwards. So it made sense that it was the fraud department. And long story short, it ended up a mess, and somehow they were into her phone and could find out her numbers and things. So just when you get any of those strange text messages, just be cautious. But it required half the day yesterday at the bank, and she's on the other phone now trying to get things straight. But the bank backs you up, but sometimes it takes a few steps, but I'm glad it does. All right, so I said I was going to show you the difference between a convex and beveled, and these are perfect for that. Let me zoom in. So this is a beveled edge. You can see that line going down there, nice crisp line going all the way down. Do you see that? It's like it goes here and then it's a flat line. This is a convex. And you see there's not that clear line where it changes angle. A little bit there because originally these are semi-convex. So I'm looking for you to go back and be able to convex it, because that's a real common thing you have to do as a sharpener. You're following behind other sharpeners that don't understand the difference between convex and bevel, and so you have to reconvex shears. So these are both beautiful. Now what I'm also looking at is the ride line. Now that ride line is super wide. Looks like he had a lot of issues with it, but it's only on the cutting edge. And it's a little bit wider than I would want, but he may have had some issues and problems with it. But they cut fine, and that's where the proof is. Same thing here. Rod line's a little wider here, a little narrow there. These shears I'm finding are a little bit out of alignment, but they're not so much out of alignment that you can't rod line, use your water stone to push through it. But there's no rod line up the back, it's only on the cutting edge. That looks good. True convex. Feels good. The adjustment's right. Looks good. This one, he correctly did not work the rod line. He left it alone. And it's adjusted correct. These are supposed to be tighter. This is an excellent example of sharpening. And so he can be proud of himself. So congratulations and Merry Christmas. You passed the ISSA with flying colors. I'm going to give these an A+. We're going to look at his letter. Let's see. And this might help some of you, the things he said in his letter. Dear Bonnie, thank you for all that you do for the sharpening community. Your YouTube videos are a great help to someone learning this art. I look forward to training with you in person, as so many of the nuances can't be properly shown on a video. He's right. I consider getting certified with the ISSA just a first step on my journey to improve my skills. After more practice and time, I will most likely try for the NBTSG certification. That's a harder certification. I have been sharpening knives and household scissors for local farmers market since 2008. I've been waiting to do higher end shears until I could get the equipment and training to do it correctly. I look forward to your evaluation so that I know what needs improvement. The bevel shear pivot screw was too tight, so I set it to what I think is the correct tension. Sharpening the thumb blade at 35 degrees on a flat plate with a fresh 1000 grit disc, it cut dry tissue but would not cut wet. Found a large burr on the outside of the serrated blade, and it must be left over from the manufacturing process, most likely. Tried to push it to the inside with a soft brass brush, but it wouldn't move. Had to use a fine stainless steel brush to get it over the edge to where I could cut it off properly. Now it cuts properly. I probably would have maybe used a ceramic stone, or you could lightly put it on the machine to get that burr off, as long as you didn't take the serration out, but if you didn't have the stainless steel brush. But sounds like what he did worked fine. I might try that next time if I had a stainless steel brush. The convex shear was a little challenging for me. Sharpened at 45 degrees and changed it from a micro bevel to a true convex edge. Yes, couldn't get the tension correct. At one setting it was too loose. Add one click and it'd be too tight. The handle was not dropping at all. When I added a second nylon washer, it started to adjust properly. These shears normally come with 2 nylon washers. Maybe for some reason this one didn't, but normally they do. When closing, it felt not quite smooth enough, so went back and worked the rod area under the pivot screw. It had looked good on initial examination, but when polishing it, it became apparent that it was not flat around the backwards J. That's back in this area here. It took some work to get an unbroken rod line in that area. Polished on the 2000 grit Nanawa, then a couple of strokes on a 6000 grit Arashiyama waterstone. I'm not familiar with that one. Polishing in it, but it worked. Polishing the outside of the blades was interesting. I've only had the polishing felt for a couple of days. It seemed like it was getting broken in and is still improving. Learning how much pressure to use and how to get close to the edge without going too far is a work in progress. I hope this finish is acceptable. When testing, it was cutting dry tissue fine, but a little ragged on the wet. Your Magic Wand nail buffer was just the ticket. Yes, that nail buffer. To clean up the remaining outside burr. Eagerly waiting your feedback. Best regards. And he's included postage to have the convex shear returned. So, super, super. Good observation. I think this letter and his information will help some other people not only pass the ISSA, but come out with some super excellent results. And these are nice and smooth. If he comes to the Sharpeners Jam, he may want to bring these with him to show Ramon, who's the manufacturer who makes these shears, Ramon Eichert. He'll be here at the Sharpeners Jam this year. That's end of April. Make sure you keep up with things. I have a Sharpeners Jam group. Make sure you're getting emails from me, and I'll be saying some things on YouTube. So subscribe to YouTube, follow me. I'll be announcing things as we get it all gelled up. But right now I've got 3 educators coming besides me. Ramon Eichert, who makes the son of Ari Eichert, who just unfortunately really recently passed away. He's amazing manufacturer of shears, if you're familiar with the Arius Eichert shears. But Ramon Eichert will be here. Jason Sturm, who's Nebraska Blades, knows all things about clippers. And then Dennis Brooks, my good friend, who also can help you with certification of the NBTSG. He says it's a good start. I think so.